Hi, Vanquished Angel here, and on to another topic of, this has to do with both minimalism and energy efficiency. The topic today is going to be status symbol purchases. Now, what is a status symbol purchase? Well, in our society, we have certain things that we have or we own that convey a certain status, and a lot of people purchase these things mostly for their status symbol value, not necessarily for their functionality. So a good example of this would be an SUV. Everybody wants an SUV because they're cool. They're the coolest new thing. You look cool in front of your friends. They're your status symbol. And a lot of people will make the excuse, well, I need one. My kids are in sports. And to my response would be, really? Are your kids that big? Which is kind of rude, but it kind of lays out the definition of what I'm trying to say here is that a lot of people think, oh, they're in hockey. They need an SUV that gets like 5 miles to the gallon. That's not true. There were soccer moms long before SUVs were even a thing. So SUVs tend to be more of a status symbol purchase than they actually are a functional purchase. You also see that a lot with houses. People, they can afford more, they buy the bigger house, which is, their right. However, it's also going to use more electricity, it's going to use more gas, it's going to slurp up a lot more resources, more time, a lot more repair work, a lot more hassle, way more headache, unless you can pay somebody else to deal with those headaches. And again, the house becomes a status symbol purchase as opposed to actually a functional house. And here in America, we all get caught up in this rat race to have what's bigger is always better and more is always better. And we end up shooting ourselves in the foot, basically. It's not a way to live. It's more problem than what it's worth. It's damaging to our environment. And it's just not really maintainable by a lot of us. That's why you always see, you can blame, and people blame other things instead of actually blame their own culture or their own behavior. So like they lose their house or whatever, they blame the economy, which part of it may be the economy. But the economy wouldn't have caused you to lose your house if you didn't always go for bigger is always better, more is always better. If you were more modest in your decision in the first place, you could have rolled with the bad economy and possibly kept your house. Now, not to say that everyone that loses their house, it's their fault. It's just the way of thinking that people don't often, it doesn't cross their mind, actually. So like I have a smart car. Why do I have a smart car? Well, it was the most gas-efficient vehicle that I could afford. I don't need anything more than a smart car. I don't have children. I'm not married. Even if I was, it wouldn't matter because we both could fit in it. It serves its function, and that's all I really need it to do. It doesn't need to fill any status symbol need or anything like that. And I'm happy to be free of these status symbol purchases because there's so much of a headache. You always got to keep them up and keep up the appearances and chase after the next latest, greatest good one and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like sheeple almost. You watch the street and all the cars that go down it, and 75% of them are SUVs, and they almost all virtually look identical. And if you like SUVs, if that's your thing, that's fine. Now, is my smart car electric? No, because I can't afford an electric one. There just wasn't one cheap enough in my area. Otherwise, the answer would have been yes. Can I afford a hybrid car? No, those things cost as much as a small house. Could probably save up for it and get a loan to do it, but the way I manage my money doesn't really allow for that. My smart car gets better than advertised gas mileage. So in the city, it gets actually around 31 miles per gallon. That's what the starts and stops. By the way, the shutting it down, that's just what I averaged in about 2 weeks before I filled up my gas tank again. On the highway, it gets about 48 miles per gallon before, I have to fill up the gas tank again. So was that a wise purchase? It was for me. It might not be for you if you could afford a hybrid or anything else. So, but today's video is about staying away from those status symbol purchases and as why they're a bad thing. You keep chasing after things, constantly replacing them. Much tougher upkeep, way, way horrible on resources. Burn a lot more oil. If it's a house, it's the gas to heat the house. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. That's my little bit of advice, is staying away from these status symbol purchases. All right, thanks for watching my video, and I hope you have a good day.